That's not
Yokozuna and Lex Luger are up next. I know people sort of bag on Lex and say that, he didn't look the same in the WWF. He looked fucking phenomenal here. And I know people are critical and say, he lost size or this or that. Dude, he looked like $1 million here. And as you like to say, then the bell rang. There are some rest holds in here where Yokozuna just has a hand on like a trap, and then he's got his arm, but not really applying any pressure. And it just looks like they're just sitting in the middle of the ring doing nothing. And you can tell Mr. Perfect is looking on thinking the exact same thing. And clearly the director knows that, because you got to start taking wide shots. Like, okay, this is a good time to get a crowd shot. Just really, really fucking bad. It's way too long. Yoko gets the win after 14 minutes and 40 seconds. He wins by DQ. Mr. Perfect is the special guest referee, as I said. So of course, that's going to play something in here. Meltzer would say on the confidential run sheet before the show, the match was listed as being 25 minutes. Holy shit. That can't be real. He even writes, thank God it didn't last that long. One nerve hold after another. And he's guessing here that Yoko's probably 580 pounds. And he calls this match Nerve Hold a Mania. Of course, the match happens to come to an end when Mr. Perfect is not calling the fall and keeps checking on Mr. Fuji. Finally, Luger is fed up with that, grabs Mr. Perfect to count the fall, and that causes the DQ. They do a little post-match argument backstage, but it's a total screw job that lets Lex Luger stay strong in the booking, I guess. The crowd wasn't having it though. They were chanting boring throughout the match. And then at the end of the match, chanting bullshit. It gets half a star. Not the best showing from Luger and Yokozuna. What'd you think?
Well, I'd love to tell you what I think, but I fell asleep. Jesus Christ. To think that was presented that was a feature match. It was like a WWE championship match. Fucking horrible. And, shit that couldn't break an egg, and just laying there and doing nothing. Vince still wanted to keep Lex in the hunt, still wanted people to have faith in Lex, which is why we did the Scrooge finish and bring Perfect back and do something with Lex and Perfect, feeling that Perfect could get the most out of Lex. It takes two to tango, and Yoko was heavy here, but Lex, there's ways to work around that. There's ways to make that exciting if you know what the hell you're doing. But I think that the guys were just kind of getting through it and thankful that it was over. Kind of sad to watch it in some ways, because you're watching Yokozuna going, man, I remember when Rodney was 315 pounds and moving like a 150 pounder. And then you watch this and go, ew, little difficult to watch.
I'll tell you, I was still impressed with, like, Yoko took a bump from the inside of the ring to the out. That was pretty impressive, especially at that weight.
Yeah, it is some of the moves, but again, you take that and you look at the overall time involved in it, and one bump isn't going to save that. So yes, he did some impressive shit, but he needs to have an opponent that can work all around his shortcomings and make it look like, give me the illusion of movement with guys bouncing all around him. And then when Yoko does something, it's sudden, it's impactful, and you feel it. I don't know. Lex had the ability to do that, or really know what to do with that.
I mean, at this point, Vince McMahon, it felt like after SummerSlam, had sort of given up on Lex Luger, and we'll talk about that another time. But it does feel like maybe he changed his mind because he wins the Royal Rumble. But then you see this match. Not good. And I guess we should address the rumor and innuendo. We did in our Lex Luger episode. There's been tons of rumors over the years that the finish is supposed to be Lex winning the world title. And supposedly he blabbed about it to reporters a week prior, and then Vince changed it. Now, of course, Luger denied that he ever told somebody in a bar or restaurant or however that rumor got started that that's what was going to happen. But we just talked about earlier in the show where Vince McMahon introduced him as the WWF World Champion at a television taping. And you said, that was just to fuck with Dave. Anything else to add to that story?
No, not really. You know, again, man, here you look at the whole Lex thing. It's the verdict was still out, or the jury was still out on Lex. And after January, Vince pretty much knew what he wanted to do, but we kept it close to the vest. And yeah, no, it wasn't going to be Lex pretty much from January on.
The Lex Express episode, which we did very early in our run here on Something to Wrestle, we'll revisit another time.